Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Three, two, one, and we're live. Hey, fabulous ones. Thank you so much for clicking on the video or jumping on the live. I've got questions for you. I'm Angela, and the channel is Be Fabulous You, where we're working on 1,000 subscribers. So thank you so much for your contribution, liking, sharing, subscribing, and all of those other wonderful things that you do. Mwah, love you. All right. So what opens with Miss Nova getting the paper, being excited, and then realizing that she thought she was in the system, playing along with the system, but the system ain't playing along with her. And what closes with Miss Nova deciding, I'm not playing along with the system anymore. If you guess Queen Sugar season 3, episode 2, you're correct, or maybe you read it on the title. Of their sojourn here. sojourn of their sojourn here. And this is part 2 of the 2-night season premiere of season 3. You're correct. Thank you for clicking and all of that other stuff and sticking around to see how we get from opening to closing. Okay, so let's proceed. Let's go. We got Miss Nova. She's at home. She opens the door. She gets the newspaper. She excited because she gonna see her article on the front page above the fold. She looks above the fold. No article. She looks below the fold. No article. She opens. And finally she finds her story someplace, the story that she was writing about the kneelers, the young people who kneeled at the game, and it's been subverted by the system. What she wrote and what she thought was going to happen is not what happened, and it's not what she wrote. It's not how she wrote it. So she a little disappointed. She a little, she feeling some way. Then we see out by, she's at the grocery store. I think this is the same place where the guy is like, I got a chain, and I want to put your pies in before. Remember she had that deal last season. And so the guy is excited about her pies, and he's like, last holiday we sold out of your pies, and that was just from word of mouth. So if you can double your order by the end of the week or by the end of the month, I think it was by the end of the week, then we will increase your royalty to 25% or by 25%. But anyway, you're going to get more money. Give us more pies on this quick schedule. And we'll put you in this big, wonderful center display. And so Aunt Vi is like, yes, that'll be a yes. I'm going to do that. We see men, maybe at the High Yellow, and they talking about the kneelers. Them boys don't know what they doing. Oh, they know what they doing. They might be crazy. They talking about what happened with the young men. And then in comes Charlie and Ra. And people, they clapping, they happy. And Remy's jaw gets a little tight. He was part of the men who were talking about what was going on. And Miss Ladybug, she gets up, she's giving a speech. Charlie, yes, Queen Sugar is still here. It's been rough, but we did the do, and best of all, you still got your deals, blah, 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 whatever. It's because of you. Your rate is fixed for the next 5 years, and it's our meal. We're all in this together, and Black businesses can thrive. And this buffet is just my way of saying thank you. She get a speech. And then, afterwards, Remy come up to her and he like, oh, so this you now? You tricking your people? And Charlie is like, I'm trying to change things instead of living on the sidelines like some people I know, Mr. Remy. That's what she's basically saying. And then, they kind of leave, and it's kind of like tense, and Rock come up to her. He try to comfort her. He like, you okay? She like, yes, whatever. He like, okay, well, we gonna go out tomorrow night. We gonna hang out at the bar or, wherever we gonna go hang out tomorrow night. So we see Aunt Vi, she's waiting for her pie tins, maybe pie tins, and a mail truck come up. She like, and then my pie tins, and the mailman come out. He got a envelope, so we know it ain't the pie tins, and we guessed it was the money. It's the money. And she, by congrats, baby. When he opened the money, he all excited, and he's like, okay, so we gonna go deposit this check, and then we gonna go shopping. And Vi is like, I gotta make pies, baby, but we will shim it later. So, they do all of that, but, okay. So then we see Micah with his dad. I forgot his dad's name, the professional basketball player. And Micah wants to go to public school, and he's trying to convince his dad or talk to his dad or strategize with his dad about how to convince his mom, because he knows that his mom is not here for him going to public school. Um, and his dad is basically like, look, you got to construct the argument, and you really need to construct an argument. And good luck selling that to your mom, but he tried to help him the best way he can. We see Charlie, and she's watching the video of the Popo beating that she was watching at the end of the last episode, or toward the end of the last episode, and it's on the news now. The video has kind of started to go viral, is going viral, is out there, it's out there. And that's the one that she had on her phone last episode, is public information now. So she texts someone. And I guess at the end of the last episode, or at the other episode, she was trying to get the cop's name, and she done got the name and told him to publicize the video or whatever. So we see Nova. She's meeting with her editor, and Nova is like, you gutted my article without even a heads up. And the editor is like, look, you're being labeled a black identity extremist. And Nova is like, that's a BS title, and this is some BS. And he like, look, cool, just calm down. The money, the advertisers, the blah 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 blah. And Nova's just kind of like, okay, peace, bye. So then we see Nova with her girls. It's like her and like 3 or 4 her girlfriends, and they like have kind of like a philosophical discussion about, should she go with this book deal and just forget the newspaper, or should she stay with the newspaper? What's a good plan? How should she handle this situation? She's someone who thinks for a living, so she's always going to be the target of something, when she has a platform and a paycheck. That's something very valuable. That should she give it up? Should she not give it up? They kind of talking about it, and different people have different takes on it. But at the end, it's kind of like, well, giving up your paycheck and your platform at the same time, that's a lot. Okay, so then we see Micah, and he is trying to sell him going to public school to his mom, and his dad is behind him. His dad's got his back, and he there supporting him or whatever. And his mom is like, nope. Even with all of the advantages that we can give you and that we have given you, you're gonna need that and more. So yeah, public school is not for you, baby boy. I'm sorry, not sorry. Okay, so then we see Ra, and he is on the phone, and he like, yeah, something, Blue could use a new pair of shoes. And then Blue is like at 1,000. He's just disobedient, wild. I can't remember what they was fighting and arguing with, but so far both episodes, all we've seen is just Blue being, he misses mama, he frustrated, he upset, he knows something going on, and he not going quietly into the night. He's protest. He's like, I have a protest, I'm mad, I'm angry. That's where Blue is. And then he gets an unannounced drop by his, I guess this is probation officer. And he a little embarrassed, because he, it's like a lot going on, but he's like, this how you do it. The guy like, yeah, this how we got to do it. But look, what I came to stop by about, his guy says, is, I want to put an app into the parole board for you to get early release. And Rod's like, okay, cool, bet. What we gotta do. And the guy is like, so you hiring, right? I heard you needed a couple guys. I know a few guys, they just getting out, they like non-violent, people. And they, they remind me of you. They a little hard-headed, but they good dudes, and you could be a role model for them. We see Vi, she's with her assistant Rhonda. I don't know, have we seen this woman Rhonda before? She with Rhonda. They making pies. Nova comes, and she's like, hey, let's do, I got this food for you or whatever. And Vi is like 100% on full throttle pie making. She ain't got time for nothing that Nova's talking about, unless Nova is talking about pies. And Vi is like, I'm trying to be a hero like you and your mom. And Nova's like, huh. And Vi is like, them folks at your job, on you again. Baby girl, this Aunt Vi talking to Nova. She like, bet on you. That's what I'm doing. I'm betting on me. Then we see Charlie, and she's at a boat dock, and she walk up on the guy. I guess that's the nephew of the Landry. the Boudreaux. And she's like, so I thought we were having dinner. And he's like, yeah, but I wanted you to see my boat because, my dad, just like how your dad was about the land, my dad was about the sea. And he built this and he was poor and my mother was rich and they met and blah, 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 blah. But my daddy was superstitious, and he feel like if you got to toast the beginning of something as close to the water as possible. So he say folks can lie on dry land, but not when it's wet. Not when it's rocky current. So they toast their new deal, and I want to take you out on the boat and blah blah blah. He talking all of that. Then we see she's kind of like, I'm trying to figure out, Sam owns Queen Sugar, so why is he honoring the deal with the black farmers? I mean, I just don't understand, why is he doing that? And this guy Boudreaux, or what, Jacob, he's like, well, I fought for it and my side of the family fought for it, and we stopped Uncle Sam, and that 1% brings you into the family. See, we family now. That's what he's saying to her. So then we back at the High Yellow, or we back to pie baking, but this time we're at the High Yellow. When they were at Vi's house, I think they were trying to strategize to find some other ovens. You can't buy, if you only got one oven, there's only so many pies you can put in there at the same time. So they had to expand. So they went on over to the High Yellow. And then in comes Clyde. I think he's the owner of the space. And he's like, you didn't ask to be here. You can't use my kitchen, for your outside hustle. Who is this here? Rhonda, the assistant. She ain't even on the insurance. This is an insurance risk. You got to go. And Vi is like, if I go, I'm gone for good. And so she leaves. And then we see Wood and Ra and Blue, and they're out shopping. And Wood says to Blue, yeah, Blue is like, oh, I like these shoes. I like these shoes. And Wood is like, get them all, baby boy, get them all. And, Ra is like, oh, hold on now. And then he's telling Wood, Ra, this baby boy has been kind of wild. He's been causing me trouble. He's problematic, and Wood is like, man, you was problematic too. Shoot, that's how boys are. That's how he is. And I got this money, and the boy can have whatever he want. You can have whatever you want. Isn't that a T.I. song? So then Ross says to Blue, you need to put them shoes back. And Blue is like, no. And Ross like, put them back. And Blue is like, no. He said I could have them all. And Ross like, put them back. And he's starting to get the shoes. And then we see the security guard peeking around the corner. And Wood sees it too. And Wood is like, oh, we good. Come back later. My bad. And so he leaves. What's that going to turn into? Is he about to get arrested for abuse or something? And it's a black security guard. And everybody know kids be hard-headed sometimes. I mean, he wasn't like yoking the boy up or beating him, or he was just like, give me them shoes. So then we see Vi and Wood, they're at a bingo hall, and they're talking to Miss Effie, I think her name is. And it seemed like Miss Effie and Violet have some tension between them. I guess Violet left Miss Effie on bad terms. She's like a light-skinned black woman, and she's trying to get permission to use Miss Effie's ovens. And Miss Effie is like, why should I let you use my ovens? And Vi is like, because I'm giving 10% of the profits to the St. Agnes Society. And then Miss Effie is like, well, here are the keys then, So she got a place to bake. I don't know what the St. Agnes Society is. Then we see Nova at home, and she's going through some stuff and articles and stuff. And she makes a phone call, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to come in the next few days to discuss, I have some ideas for the article. So we're like, oh, okay. So she decides to stay with the newspaper. She going to try to make it work. She going to work from the inside. She going to keep her paycheck and her security. We see Micah watching the Popo beating video that Miss Charlie was watching before, and that she saw on the news this episode. He watches it for a minute, but then he just closes his laptop, like he's like, I just can't. We see Charlie and Raw out, and Charlie is laughing. She like, he talking about, I want you to see my boat. And Ra is like, that boy really think he got a shot. And Charlie is like, if I'm doing my job right, he sure does think that he has a shot. And then, she like, how Blue? And Ra is like, he is missing his mama. He is missing his mama. I'm not good for that boy. And Charlie is like, you are the best thing that ever happened to that little boy. And then we see Charlie, and she's leaving. Oh, so after that, then they kind of break up, and Ralph Angel is like, in the club, at the club, he's dancing, and Charlie is laughing like, oh, my brother just dancing. Hey, what's up? He need to hang out and have a good time. So then she leaves, and she's getting in her car, and her car is like, like it's not catching, it's not starting. So she like, oh my god, oh my god. And then this white guy walks up, and he's like, your battery might be dead. I get kind of stressed out when he walk up. I'm like, oh my god, is he sent from the Landry's? Is he gonna beat her? Did he do something to her car? What a guan, what's going on? So he jumps it. Then they kind of chat. The guy walks away. He comes back, and he's like, can I give you my number? And she's like, well, what if I don't call you? He like, then it's fate. And then he give her his number, and his name is Roberto. So I guess he's not supposed to just be white. I guess he's supposed to be brown. But he's whatever. Okay, so then we see Nova, and she's packing, not Nova packing pie, but I'm still the same COG, damn it. What is that supposed to mean? Conscious of genocide, you still conscious of genocide. God doggone it. Um, so then we see not Nova packing pies, but Aunt Pie packing a pie. And when she packed it, I'm like, that's her last pie. And then she's looking pie red. And then Book comes in, and he's like, you finished. You did it, baby, the way you wanted to. Now, go rest, because I want you to be looking good tomorrow when the time comes. And congratulations, baby. He's just all supportive and everything. Then we see Charlie with her ex-husband, baby daddy. And she's like, he's like, it's early. Thanks for seeing me. So, did you have anything to do with that video of the popo beating the guy leaking? And Charlie is like, why, um, why we always gotta forgive? I want him to be in pain, and I will not apologize for wanting him to be in pain. He hurt our son, blah 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 blah. Okay, so she going there. And then her ex-husband is like, look, I'm not asking you to apologize. I'm just asking you to think about our son. Do you think this is good for him? Do you think it's bad for him? Has he seen it? Have you thought about that? Have you talked to him? And then Charlie is like, because she's so consumed with her own process. I felt like it was a good point. Okay, so then we see Charlie at home, and she's coming into Micah's room. Micah, and when she comes in, he has last episode. Last episode we saw that he's been taking photographs since the beginning of the season. He got a camera around his neck, he taking pictures. So he has some of his pictures, black and white, developed, they up on the wall. And she just comes in, and she's just looking at him like just in awe, like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then Micah comes in behind her, and he's like, so you like him? And he's like, look, I need this. This is the first time in my life I didn't feel I had to justify my presence. And that's really, really deep, to feel like you have to justify your presence. All right. Thank you. I'm finished, basically. To feel like you have to justify your presence. That just really was kind of deep to me. And he's like, people are like, oh, you're black, but you're the son of a celebrity, so it's okay. Or you're black, but you're wealthy, so it's okay. Or you're black, but you play basketball. So, it's like it's always got to be some reason to justify why it's okay for him to exist, for him to be in spaces, for him, and Charlie is like, I feel like I belong. These pictures represent a space where he feel like he belong, at the public school with other black and brown children. That's how he's feeling. And Charlie is like, okay, baby boy, okay. I mean, what can she say? The son is old enough really to make his own decisions. And, what you gonna do? So we see Rob washing dishes, and Blue comes in, and he like, Pop, is the timeout over? Now remember, I don't know if it was yesterday or whatever day, he was like, his daddy was like, Rob, not his bio dad, was like, I'm gonna put you in timeout. So baby boy is like, is timeout over yet? And then he's like, I'm sorry for being bad. And Ralph Angel is like, you ain't got a bad bone in your body. You may be a little rough around the edges, but you ain't got a bad bone in your body. I love seeing, all the different little relationships on here. I really enjoy them. And then Blue is like, "Can I help?" So this is kind of like the first moment where we're seeing, since the season has started, Blue seeming to be like I guess he's processed through his frustration and his anger a little bit at Ralph Angel. Iyapo is pure dope. I was just telling my mom about you, Iyapo. Oh. Um, so then we see Charlie at the restaurant, and she's meeting with this white woman. And the woman is like, "So you happy about the way things worked out? I'm glad that things are coming to light." So in other news, follow the money. The Landrys are drowning in debt. And for the last 2 years, they've been drowning in debt. And Charlie is like, "They drowning in debt. So how did they buy Queen Sugar?" And the woman is like, "I don't know. But, blah, 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 blah." So that's news to us that they're drowning in debt. She's like, "Their lawyers are really, really tight. I can only get the information that I can get." Um, and then we see Aunt Vi and Wood and Nova and Micah and Charlie and Ra, and they're at the grocery store, and they marching in to celebrate Aunt Vi's victory. Her pies are gonna be in the center aisle. She worked so hard to get them packed and ready to be on display. Woo! They here for the picture, the photo op. They happy, they excited, they proud. Daggone dog barking. They happy, they excited, they proud. And they get there, and she go to the center display, and it's like, "Where are my pies?" Somebody else's pies are there. So she's like, and then somebody's like, "There are your pies over there, Aunt Vi." And she looked, and it's like, it's not the center display. And they like, "Yay, the pies." They don't understand. Vi look, she say to look some little young man, she like, "Where's Mr. Rawlings?" He's like, "Oh, Mr. Rawlings just left." And she's like, "My pies are in the wrong place. They're supposed to be over here. And he's like, "Okay, well, I can call him. What's your name?" She's like, "Vi's Pies." I told you earlier, it was funny. She's like, "Buys pies right here. These are my, this is. And so look, young man or whatever, he go away. And then Vi start taking her pies and putting them on the center display, like, "Oh, we're not gonna have this." And so she's like, you can tell her stress level. She's like, like, because it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of intense. So then the family is like trying to help. They're like, "Okay, you want to move the pies out by? We with you. We got your back." So, they all, organizing pies and stuff. And then she kind of like, she walks away, and she's kind of crying, and Wood follows her. And then Nova is behind him. And she's like saying to Wood, she's like, "I'm 60 years old, and I will not be sidelined. I will not be sidestepped or sidetracked. It's a little thing, but it's my thing, and it's my time. It is my time. Like, this is not about to happen." So we don't know what happened. Was it an honest mistake, or is it part of the conspiracy? We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. And Nova is watching all of this from behind. So then the next scene, we see Nova, and she's walking into her editor's office, Steve, and he's like, "Oh, white editor. Oh, I'm glad that you reconsidered and you're working on stories." And you're working on stories, and you're back on track. We're going to get back on track. And Nova's like, "Well, I've reconsidered." And I guess she give him her her resignation letter or whatever. He's like, "Oh." And then she walks out, and she's like walking out and down the steps, and she ain't like, it ain't like no big like ha, but she got this like like she feeling herself, she feeling good. So that's the end of the episode. It's an exploration. The theme is, what can you do from the inside of their systems? Because Nova is in the inside of the system writing, and it's like drama and mess and confusion. She's also like, if she writes this book, that this book deal they're offering her, what kind of system is she gonna be inside of? Aunt Vi has left the High Yellow, which was a black business, and she's working with this other black person. Like, I be feeling myself. She's working with this other black person for their ovens, but then she's got the grocery store she put it in is a white business. Are they like, what's up? Nova, baby boy, Micah is trying to get to where he can be, in the inside instead of always on the outside looking in, where he can be like among people like him, where he can, now I hope he feels comfortable and welcome, instead of people being like, "Oh, you talk white," or I hope he feel good. So that's it. That's that episode of Queen Sugar. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and all this other good stuff. You heard Yapo say he was on Psychopaths or Psychopathias or something. He on somebody's live. You better go on over there because I'm about to go. But that's what I got. Did you love the episode? The pace, I forget how slow Queen Sugar is. It's like a whole different rhythm. I guess I fell asleep on the episode because I didn't see any of this. Thanks for the wrap up. I was kind of struggling a little bit myself, but just because the last couple of days I've been up early and late, and it's been a lot going on. But the pace is slow, so it's kind of it's a whole different. It's not like what we're used to with TV, which I kind of appreciate and enjoy. But that's it. That's bye.